Welcome to the Paperless Productivity Podcast, where we have experts give you the insights, know-how, and resources to help you transform your workplace from paper to digital, while making your work life better at the same time.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm John Kenyon, the Director of Sales and Marketing at ImageSoft. Today's host for a very exciting subject, that is a podcast centered around how our electronic signature solution, TrueSign, integrates in and works around our new partnership with Worldox. I'm joined by Ray Zwiefelhofer today, the president of Worldox, someone who I've known for a number of years and has been instrumental in forging the partnership for electronic signature. Ray, it's wonderful to have you here with me today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us.
Thanks for having us, John.
So I'll just go ahead and kick off. Can you tell us a little bit about the Worldox and TrueSign strategic partnership?
As we know, the pandemic has changed life for everybody. And, it started out as this temporarily, oh no, we have to work from home and let's figure this out. And a new normal has been created, I think. We see a lot of law firms that we talk to really want their people back in. And some are forcing their folks back in just due to the nature of working together. Attorneys like their people close to them. But yet we have many of those same firms who are saying, yeah, but we'll allow flexibility. And flexibility brings a whole new set of challenges for IT folks, especially at firms, not to mention the workflow aspect of law. IT has to work with compliance and, how things get done. And when we talk about e-signatures, think about it. Well, you're going to FedEx and round paper signatures to everybody's house. And e-signatures have been around for a while, but they are really using the e-signatures much heavier than they were in the past. And I think these new workflow items is important for us as we survey our customers, our resellers, to really see what we need to be building in and collaborating partners to collaborate with in Worldox. It's important that we really focus on these items. And I would say next to sharing and collaboration in a document, the e-signatures are number 2 on the client requests for, got to have this and we have to have certain aspects of this.
That's great. Thank you. Well, since you mentioned it, with so many of the clients and the lawyers working in hybrid environments or offsite, how important is electronic signature compatibility during the video conferencing?
Well, I think it's critical. It's funny because pre-pandemic, when we did video conferencing with our customers at law firms, even though we were on video, a GoToMeeting or Teams, many of them left their camera off. They were camera shy. It was really kind of comical. I wanted them to be on camera and have this dialogue, and that has changed drastically. And so much so that, hey, let's just do this demo or this training session. Could we just do a video conference? And it was, it's kind of another new norm. And as such, their customers, sometimes corporations, which are set for video conferencing, many times private, say families for trust and estates, etc., they're getting more flexible on that. And as you can imagine, one of the things we hear a lot is they're on their mobile device, their iPhone or iPad. They may not all have computers, unless they're corporate legal, of course. So that ability, click on, and your solution is just brilliant. Scan the screen, the customer can do it real easy. And there's a signature pad that comes up in your iPhone, write your signature. That is amazing. And it's really simplified down for kind of a better workflow, more streamlined workflow in the process. Oftentimes going to another app on a computer and finding the document and starting to sign with the mouse becomes a little onerous. So I think it's pretty high in the list there from what I see.
With Worldox being the premier DMS solution for law firms, how are you planning to integrate the TrueSign signature capabilities into your platform and into the customer's workflows? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I think it's extremely important. 2 aspects of e-signatures built, or probably more than that, but there's a couple of initial ones. And that is an easy, we call it right click, but a easy send to an e-signature platform. So the attorney, secretary, paralegal will select a document, a finalized PDF, let's say, and then they'll send that to the platform for signature. The ease, of course, of which to add signatures needs to be built into platforms such as TrueSign. And then the second part of it, which is critical for law firm workflow, is the retrieval of that document back into the matter. So you have a signed document there, along with audit trail material, meaning here's the factual statement and audit trail, legally binding of what was signed, when it was signed by who. And it seems simple, but there's a lot of complexities there. But that whole little work, much like we do with Microsoft Word. You open from Worldox, goes into Word, you do your editing, you save, it goes back into Worldox, you have a version control. If you share it or email it, there's a versioning and a audit trail around what happens to that document. So same is true with e-signatures, and surely you could use it without that, but that's very high in the client demand list.
Right. Well, you mentioned a client demand list. I know you recently sent out a survey to your customers asking them what they think is most important when it comes to electronic signatures. Can you give us some insight into the results that came back from
Sure,
that?
will do. And we did this survey, and surprisingly enough, hundreds of customers came back. It was probably the most responded survey that we ever got and sent out and got results on. It was amazing, and wasn't surprising, all the questions, but it's really nice to see what the customers were actually looking for. As we venture in and spend time and effort, and ask you guys to spend time and effort on this integration, it's important that we understand we're doing things that the customers care about. And surely they can use the eSig program standalone and drag the document in some other way. But we wanted to make sure it was worth our time to really focus on this and make sure we hit the key spots. So I'll just go through a summary here, John. The first of all, a broad stroke of our customers, 68% used e-signature programs. So, let's call it 2/3. That kind of surprised me that more weren't using it, because they're always signing documents. You have different type of law. Now, I would say, contractual and larger law, you have different cases, you would have many more signatures and signatures on it. But even small firms, there's some type of document that's coming back and forth that needs signed. So that was the first little, I guess, snapshot there. The next is how they use the e-signature. And we all know we have internal, maybe expense reports, or law firms will have pre-bills that they sign off on to make sure that accounting is billing their clients correctly. So here again, 2/3 or 65% used it for external client signatures, which, was probably about norm. I figured that would be a lot. And then the remaining third, which I thought was higher than normal, used it for internal signatures, just for getting signatures for free bills and other things within the firm there. So those are some good numbers there. And with your solution, we don't really care what they use it for. So that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the long run. And I'll share that in a minute. And, there's which solutions and other things that we won't get into the details there. But the top importance levels of what the program does for your firm or what you're looking for. And the number one on the list was work seamlessly with DMS. Now, I'd say maybe this is skewed a little bit because we're asking DMS customers, this question, as opposed to the whole legal market per se. They don't have a DMS, but that was very high on the list that works and integrates with that solution. The second one on the list is audit trail of signed documents, of a proper audit trail and being within the DMS along with those documents. Third, tertiary, was the licensing, flexibility, and simplicity. And that's really important. And I didn't realize this until we started our relationship and we started talking about, hey, let's do something really cool for our customers. I didn't realize that these other systems, I won't mention any names, but these other systems out there, they have caps on signatures. They have different tiers. From a personal tier at 25, and then a business tier at 45 or 65, and different prices depending on whether you pay monthly or annually. And they have, I guess, envelopes, and signs. And I started looking into this, as you mentioned to me, man, we want to be simple here, Ray. And I said, I thought that e-signature from other companies were simple. You buy it. So they have these limits per firm. They try to give the firm enough, an average. So you got some I guess some limits there. And then I understand, depending on the solution, they actually charge more for additional signatures. If you have 2 signatures on a countersign in a document, that's fine. But as you get the 3rd and 4th signature and start routing that more, you actually get pinged for additional cost for these things that's not in the upfront, website pricing you see, but it starts to, there's no asterisk that kind of lists that out. And maybe that's why, this was number 3rd in the list is, we want simplicity. And then there's a few other factors too. Many companies, because we very rarely make our own integrated solutions, meaning third parties, case management systems, we work with them very closely. They develop, because it's their system, the Worldox Integration. They best know their system, and they call documents and push documents into Worldox. And some of these solutions, these third parties that have made these solutions are very pricey. So you're not only paying the signature product pricing, but you're also paying a monthly or a perpetual fee for the actual tool to get them in and out of Worldox. So that's top in the list. So those are just the highlights of what we found, and really it's the top 2, integrating with DMS and audit trail. Those are things that were on our list anyway. But the simplicity of licensing and cost-effective solution, as they put in some comments, were really I guess highlighted there.
That's really interesting. Thanks for sharing that with us. How important is TrueSign's document library template feature to the Worldox community? Do you have a sense of that?
Well, yeah. So we never done a particular survey on that, but knowing how law firms work, templates, we prefer, I guess the legal industry prefers customers to use templates as opposed to sometimes how they do things now, and probably still now and more in the past, is they take old documents and they reuse them. That's their template. So they did a patent agreement for X firm, and they'll take and reuse that document or pieces of that document. And if they're good about scrubbing metadata and stuff, that's okay. There's some good redaction and metadata companies in the market, but they're not always. And you have that stray stuff in the document. So it's pretty critical that you use templates for your stuff to get you started. But keep in mind, templates take a while to set up, so they're less used in the market. So I think that's high in the list. I personally, as I've been doing these signatures, I don't use templates in the software, but I see law firms using that quite often. And again, I think some of these other companies charge extra for a template program or to use and save templates. And we just want to make sure this is a all-in-one solution. Worldox has always been known for a value play. So let's not call us the cheapest on the market. Don't like that phrase, but we're a value play. We have a great value for the money, great feature set. Most everything in Worldox is included in the product. Our customers kind of expect, and we want the same to be true for e-signature program that we work with or more involved with. We have not done a lot of integration for other products. I feel if you can get the pricing right and simplicity and your product is good, definitely, then it's worth us putting in a little bit of time to make this a better and a tighter integration, because our customers will win.
Ray, thank you. This has been a wonderful and informative conversation with you. We at ImageSoft are looking so forward to the partnership and progressing this forward around digital signatures integration with Worldox. We really value the partnership, and we see that it's going to be something that we think can progress the market further and further. So again, thank you. I appreciate your time. Please check us out at www.truesign.com and reach out to us this upcoming week. We're going to be at the ALA annual conference in Orlando, Florida, and in the booth with Worldox. So please come by and say hi and look at the combined solution.
Thanks again for joining us on this podcast. To learn more about ImageSoft, please visit ImageSoftInc.com. That's ImageSoftInc.com. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to Paperless Productivity, where we tackle some of the biggest paper-based pain points facing organizations today. We'll see you next time.